And a lot of people who go through life, who lose significant others and family members or children, hold on to a piece of that person that's passed, thinking, well, if I hold on to this, then they'll always be with me, instead of just allowing it to be what it is, and they'll always be with you. You can never separate them. But we always turn back to an item or to clothing they wore or something to hold on to. It's just an endless loop. And to really put that aside and let it go is hard for people to do. It's hard for the human to do. And so, that's where your faith has to step in and let you know everything's okay. People are constantly seeking something that they don't know, that's invisible, but yet they want to be able to touch it at the same time.
All right. I'd just like to say Christina's a simple housewife. No real education, no experience, no anything. I wouldn't listen to her if I were you. Of course, I'm saying all this now, Christina, for a very good reason. Would you happen to know what that reason is?
Because you're a man and you think you're better than me.
Oh, that's good too. I like that. Okay, but there's another reason. Can you think of it?
No, you just love doing it.
Well, that's good, but there's one more.
There's one more, because I got it right.
No, I'm going to give you the reason, and it's, I'm teasing you, of course, but there's something very interesting Christina said, and it's very, very, very true. And she hit the nail on the head. Just don't hit me, please. Tangible is the word. Tangible. That's what she said. And that's the word you need to remember. This is why you have missionaries that go around. You have a real person with really something to say standing before you. It makes an impact. Now, you may be susceptible in the long run, you may not. But everything you come in contact with is tangible to the extent it has an influence, whether you know it or not. So I'm sure Christina's done this with her kids. Every mother does. You say, as they're growing up, do this, don't do this. You've done those kind of things, right, Christina?
Of course, you teach them the right from the wrong.
Right.
And when they're presented a gift from a boy, because mine are girls, and the girl isn't in the relationship, but she really, really wants it because it's pretty, then there's strings attached to it. And that's what I had to focus on with one of my daughters, was the fact that she wanted it so badly, but I had to explain to her, by accepting this, you're accepting him. She didn't want him, she wanted the item he was giving her. I go, so there's a string. You cannot accept this if you're not willing to accept him. So you need to give it back. It broke the young boy's heart, but she wanted it. She didn't want to give it back. But I had to explain to her what that meant for him to give it to her when she didn't even know the boy. So it's hard to break the, I want, because it's so pretty and sparkly, with what the actions are behind it. And that's pretty much what Jesus is saying and God is saying to you, is you're going to be tempted by things that are tangible. And you're going to want that beyond your soul. You're just gonna want it. But you can't focus on that. You have to focus on this. This you can't see. This you can't touch. But this is love, and I will never ever have strings attached to it. And that's where we get tied up and caught up, is in all the strings that are attached to that tangible item. So yes, it's happened, and I was a good mom, and she probably still hates me today, but she had to give it back. Broke her heart, and I'm sure it shattered him, but there are messages behind it. And then that's where parenting comes in, where the woman can tell you one thing and share her opinion, but it's really the man, the fathers in this, that have to explain to their daughters or explain to their sons, if it's on the other foot, what this thing is representing and what they're getting into. It's like handing a girl an engagement ring. You really need to understand what's behind it and all the strings that come with it. You don't just hand a girl a ring and then, cut all the strings because then she's gone. And the girl's sitting there going, hell, but look at the money I just made off of him. So there are consequences behind tangible things. And I'm not just talking about rings and other things. There's so many different things that you can get tied down to. But that's where a man and woman need to work together as a unit, because we're going to have different opinions, we're going to have different backstories, and we're going to be able to explain it to our children better. And I think more parents need to be on board and explain to their children what's behind these subtleties, so that we as a people can be better people toward one another, and not as many divorces. Okay, go. You were saying something about me again?
Yes, I think your daughter does hit you with love. And you said something very interesting, and this is very, very true. We all speak of the influence of a mother on a daughter, but the real influence is on her sons, as it is with the father and the daughters. There's no doubt about that. There's just no doubt. Now, mother, obviously, the other parent has influence too, and I understand his personalities. There's a lot of ingredients. But I have found over time that the dynamics are a little different, and they're very interesting. All right.
But we need both.
You need both. Amen. All right. Now, we're not going to read any more today. I'm going to read something. And this came to me, stupid me, when I was in church last Sunday, and I almost, wow. And this is a Lutheran church. We're in a Lutheran church. We are Lutherans. And every Lutheran church in America, I'm sure, because it was Reformation Sunday, had a sermon, and they read gospel and the epistle readings, Old Testament, etc. But